Hi, I'm Suki.
And I'm Claire.
Welcome to Getting Psychic, where you can listen to us use ourselves to test the theory that anyone can get psychic. Hi, Claire.
Hi, Suki.
What's up?
What's the word?
Nothing. I'm excited to see you. I feel like it's been years since we've talked.
Ages. It hasn't been, but it does feel like that. I went to New York and it was great. We drove
Tell me
there.
more. Oh yeah, how was the drive?
It was a lot, but I love road trips a lot. And I like going to new places with the camera and seeing what the vibe and energy of people there is. And so we were in Brooklyn, and I haven't been to New York or Brooklyn since 2000. So that was a long time ago. I know.
Yeah.
And so it's a very different place. But it was really awesome. Like everyone I talked to were so into the photos and so into talking about their own like spirituality and connection. And I ended up talking about this podcast a lot because so many people were like, I'm really on a search and I don't really know. And I was like, well, I'm making a weird podcast, so if you want to go listen to that. Which was cool. But this really funny thing happened where these three women walked up, and like I have a book of example photos, and they're flipping through it just like what is this? And so they're like, what is this? And I'm like, these are aura photos. We have the aura camera, and I go through my whole spiel of, this is what the camera does, and the booklet, and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, well, why, like, what do you do with the photo then? And I'm like, well, it's a beautiful photo of you. But then I was like, it's sort of like, it's a visual marker in time of like where you're at energetically and, what chakra is most prominent in your life at this point in time. And it can just help you moving, knowing yourself. And they all just sort of like quasi nodded and then were like, okay, thanks. And like walked away. Mm-hmm. And my friend's father was standing next to us and he had just taken his photo. And so he had said to these women, you should do it. These are amazing. Like, it's just incredible. And they're like, okay. And so then they walk away and I just turn to him and I'm like, self-awareness. It's not for everyone. Which I feel like should probably be the aura camera's like covert tagline. Self-awareness. It's not for everyone. Yeah, it's just funny to see how many people are like, yeah, no, I really don't want to know anything about myself. I'm like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't for everyone.
No, I don't. I think that, yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things. It's always kind of bewildering to me when I start talking to people. This has happened a few times where I talk to people about their photos and they just seem, it's not that I'm not telling them things about themselves. I'll tell them things about themselves and then I'll ask them questions and they don't know answers at all about like their deepest, like what they want for themselves, or they've never even thought about, parts of their lives that feels really like not basic to me, but like feels like a given to me to consider. Like to consider my part in this universe is, you know, I don't know. I mean, it's just interesting to be like, oh right, some people really just have no self-awareness. A lot of people have no self-awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And it's strange why you wouldn't want to have self-awareness. Like why you wouldn't want to like connect into yourself and really know yourself and how you fit in the world. But maybe some people aren't inquisitive like that.
Yeah, for sure. Different strokes for different folks. It's like,
Word.
yeah, to some people that's like freaky and not appealing. I get it. I can't relate, but I get it.
Yeah.
They got to be out there.
Yeah, they are. I met some of them.
Okay, so any like beautiful connections that you made?
Many. You know, I mean, my readings, it's, you know, the people, like friends keep being like, you need to charge money for the readings that you're doing.
You never gave me mine.
Yeah, well,
I'm still waiting with my sad little aura photo with no information.
no explanation. I'm like, Google it. Just Google it.
So sad.
I know. I'm the worst.
We always hurt the ones that we love.
Exactly. Exactly. That's correct. Yeah, there were a lot of really beautiful ones. The readings are just getting deeper and deeper and more psychic, if you will.
Oh, I knew you were going to say that.
They are, and it's really cool to just start like, you know, like words just start coming out of my mouth, and like there were a couple times I said things, and like the people that I was talking to like did a like that was a thing, and I was like, fuck, man. I just said that. I just made that up, and I don't write anything down. But like, there were a couple like times where I was like, "Who is talking right now?" But
that is cool. So cool.
It was great. Yeah.
Have you considered recording it ever?
No.
Might be fun.
Yeah, to record the entire day though, because I'm not going to be like, "Oh God." No. But I
you can
also
record mine when you do it.
Okay, I will. I will record yours. You know, it's really funny. I have a really hard time telling people I know about, like, that I know well about their pictures.
Oh, I wonder why. Is it just like the same thing where you're afraid you're going to be too informed by your own brain?
Be. Yeah, it also feels slightly performative to do to friends.
People you know. Weird.
Yeah.
Well, maybe if you didn't wear that like feather boa when you did it, it would seem more normal.
Can I keep the tiara on?
That's fine. I mean, You got to be you. You got to be you. Okay, what about didn't you text me something about the owner of
oh yeah,
Renegade?
One of the owners of Renegade, who's been a very good friend for a quadrillion years. You know, we were setting up and he came over and said hi, and he said in kind of this cute little boy, sheepish, quiet voice, he said, "I've been listening to your podcast." And I was like, "Really?" He's like, "I really like it." And then there was this pause, and then he said, "I have 27 guides." And I just like melted. And I was like, "Wait a minute, you did the meditation?" He's like, "Mm-hmm." And
oh my God.
I know, it was so cool. It was so nice. it's, and it's just so awesome that I guess I have been surprised at how many people are like, oh wow, I can be connected into something and I can talk to people about this. It's cool.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not
it was very
surprised.
sweet. I know you're not. I know.
Well, I mean, just because I needed this,
Right.
like I needed this podcast a year ago.
Yeah.
So I know how many people do. And there's been a lot of that outreach like that. Like, oh, phew.
Yeah.
You guys seem like normal,
Grounded.
which is hilarious.
Right. Oh, yeah, it is. Well, I think normal in the sense of like, we're just
Not a woo-woo
two friends chatting
mystical.
about the weird shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know I get freaked out by the, oh, like
Mm-hmm.
the
Yes.
mystical, magical ladies that are always in charge of this conversation.
Yes. What's been happening with you?
Well, I'm traveling again. I'm testing out a tiny mic clipped to a cup. Um, I've been doing meditations here and there. Oh, I want to. Have you ever done energy work on an animal?
Yeah.
How does that go?
Great.
I feel like, well, I need to start doing this too, but I feel like my dog needs energy work. She just got on Prozac.
I'm proud of you for putting her on Prozac.
Oh yeah, she's far too afraid to just be in the world. She won't walk outside. Um, she's just turned 1, so it's a problem. I need to get her down to like a base level of anxiety to continue to. I mean, she's
Yeah.
she's super smart, and I've put a lot of work into training her, and this is just the next step because she won't go on walks unless I put her in the car and
Yeah.
drive her to a forest.
Which is
It's
a
a
whole
bummer.
lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah, so energy work on animals is great. They're really sensitive and they will feel it very quickly. Any time that I've like held my hands like around an animal to, doing like source point,
Uh-huh.
they immediately just like whip their hands or heads around and are like, what are you doing over there?
Yeah.
So they feel it. And it moves really quickly in them.
Yeah.
So, mm-hmm.
Yeah, I need to give her more help. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what her deal is.
I mean, so even with animals, I like asking permission.
Yeah.
I was at a friend's house and she had a cat that is not the nicest cat in the world. And um and my friend was like, "Can you give the cat energy?" Or oh no, it was about reading the cat's records.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Oh, I was like, hold on, let me ask if I'm allowed to." And so I went in and asked. Yes, immediately the cat hissed at me like the second after I didn't ask audibly. And the cat just turned, it was like, I'm like, that's a no. That's a hard
Oh
no.
my.
It was amazing. We just started laughing so hard. Like I wasn't anywhere near the cat either.
That's
And the cat
amazing.
just turned, it was like, I'm like, okie dokie.
So
Well,
you did not go there?
so I did not go there. But I think that you should, just like you have done um, with Robert, I think that you should do with
Huck.
Hawk.
All right.
Yeah. And I think it would be lovely. I mean, like, also you can, the grounding meditation that, we put at the end of one of the episodes,
Mm-hmm.
you can ground Hawk.
Uh-huh.
Like, like ground from, that the second chakra, and um and then help energy clear, like while you're doing stuff, like just stating like all energy that is no longer of benefit to you can now go through this grounding cord. It's like it's the same thing of like grounding Hawk all the time might be really helpful.
Okay, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Because I mean that I'm pretty convinced that Robert, I know you're listening, and I'm sorry, but he does not enjoy her, and he
I know.
is still heartbroken about our last dog, who
Yeah.
was, let's
Divine.
be honest, he was perfect. And so Hawk moving into the wake of us having had like a perfect dog for 15 years is very, those are very big shoes to fill. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I am convinced that his energy in reacting to her, even though he's very sweet to her, he's always petting her, and like he's acting though. And I really do think that it's kind of holding her back. But it's like I can't get him as a person to be like, I'm going to change my thought process about this dog in my head.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder um, if you psychically communicated with Hawk about it. If like it's one of those things, like how much do you do that? How much do you try and communicate with Hawk? Like not
Uh,
audibly, not in like command ways,
I mean,
but
I've meditated, with her in mind once, and that was, I think, yesterday. So, oh, and then you know what? I got totally disrupted. I had started, and Abel came in. So I keep having to remember that I can use my power
power of what?
of like meditation and energy
Oh,
work.
yeah. 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 I talk to my snake.
What do you get?
I tell him I love him.
What's your snake's name?
Snake baby.
Really?
Yes. Absolutely. His name is Snake Baby. Yeah.
Cool.
He's very adorable. Yeah. He's a little bit of a dick too. He's a snake. But
Okay, what's the thing about well, I want to know about like why it appealed to you to get a snake as a pet
okay.
baby. But I also want to know about like snakes in relationship to kundalini, and what is kundalini rising?
Oh Jesus. Okay. Well, snakes are massive symbols of transformation. They're constantly shedding
Oh yeah.
and transforming, getting rid of layers of themselves to be a new, shinier version. And Kundalini, I'm going to do a bad job of explaining Kundalini energy. But Kundalini energy is a very primal ancient energy that lives in all of us, that will climb through the chakra systems and can open your psyche and body up to in real different ways. Um,
Okay.
and a lot of people work to force it open, which I think seems stoops. But so my kundalini is awake. Like I did a lot of meditation um, many years ago, and my kundalini ended up waking up with it. And it's really actually quite fascinating that most yoga poses actually are kind of came from kundalini. Like when kundalini is awake, it can kind of take over your body. And it, and in, the story is that um, that is where many of the poses came from, is different chakra, like different poses opening different chakras and expressing different chakras. And then so Kundalini yoga, I believe, is based on that kind of sequence. But it can be really intense and make people feel like they're going crazy because it's like an awakening of.
Okay, so what does that mean? I mean, like, one, how did you do it? Did you do it on purpose? Does it happen sometimes not on purpose? Like, how do you know if it's
Yes.
open?
My very good friend of mine um, had a spontaneous Kundalini awakening, and she did not know what was going on with her body, but she started, it was almost like, I can't remember how it started, but it was almost like these weird, like, convulsions of energy, like rushing through her. And then her arms would start like doing movements that were actually quite beautiful, but felt like it hurt to contain, like it hurt to like force it to stop. And she just started doing
What the
all of,
heck?
yeah, she just started doing all of this research, trying to figure out what it was. And she ended up um, finding a guru that was focused on Kundalini and helping mediate and live with the side effects of Kundalini awakening. And there were a lot of people that were going through this same thing. Um, it can be incredibly intense. Not only can your mind like open intensely to, like psychic energy, but
Hmm.
your body is like taken over um, in many cases of this, and you have to allow it to like unravel itself basically. Like, I mean, she would spend hours meditating, and when I say meditating, I mean laying on the bed or the floor and allowing like mudras and like crazy movements of her arms and spine to like release energy. And it was intense, but this this basically, it was an online ashram, was really beneficial in helping um, calm it down. So
So why would someone pursue this? To enhance their like psychic abilities and connection with the universe?
I guess so. I mean, I don't actually like seeing how much pain it was actually causing people. And then when mine woke up, it was mild. And like it'll still, if I allow it to, like my mudras will come out like while I'm in meditation. When I'm doing energy work, sometimes they take
What do
over.
you mean when you say my mudras will come out?
Mudras are like the hand symbols of like that you see the all the gods and goddesses in like Hindu religions, like
Yeah.
holding up the okay sign is a big one, and or the
Yeah. I'm going to actually just give a definition.
okay, great.
Okay. So a mudra is a symbolic hand gesture used in Hindu and Buddhist ceremonies and statuary, and in Indian dance. The namaste is an elegant mudra which expresses a range of meanings from welcome to respect to acknowledgement of fault and apology. It's also a movement or a pose in yoga. The purpose is to activate and create a circuit of prana in the body. But so you're saying that in meditation, after your kundalini had risen, you would just spontaneously do
Yes.
mudras with your hands?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Did you ever do
Yep.
one that you didn't know?
Well, I don't know what any of them are.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, I don't know what any of them mean. I mean, like, I can't remember what. Like, I constantly was doing threes. I don't know. I can't remember what it
She's
meant,
holding
but
three
I
fingers
would.
up.
Well, and it would be different threes. It would be like three, as in you're like, "How old are you?" And they'd be like, and kid would be like 3. But then
Right.
there was the 3 that it was like the okay symbol. But
Okay, well, wait,
um
that one, I mean, I have the images right here. Hang on, I want to tell you what that means. Okay, this one is the, I will mispronounce this, but the Dhyana mudra that's like this, otherwise known as the
that's
meditation
the
mudra.
okay
This
symbol.
it's kind of like with your hand up though. It's
Yeah,
like this.
right. Mm-hmm.
Otherwise known as the meditation mudra, this gesture is famous for having been practiced by the Buddha at the time of enlightenment. There you go, Claire. This mudra is performed with the right hand resting on top of the left, palms facing up, and tips of the thumbs touching.
Right.
All
So
right,
that's
Buddha.
that's this. But like when I'm doing it, it's just literally like going
Yeah,
through movements, different
interesting.
kinds of 3. So does it say what this is?
Holding three fingers up.
Mm-hmm.
Does the internet say?
Yeah, I mean, basically, what Kundalini is doing is trying to clear out all of your chakras so that you can reach enlightenment.
That's cool. I keep thinking about this recently. Like, enlightenment is something that never interested me. Like, you
It
know,
actually, yeah, no, yeah, I agree. I understand what you're saying.
like I'm not, I can't even say like on this path I was seeking enlightenment, but I guess ultimately um you know, everything we talk about and everything I learn is kind of like edging towards that, but that has never been a life pursuit. Um okay, the three fingers holding up is the Varuna mudra, mudra of water. Um, it balances the water content and prevents all diseases which come due to lack of water.
No shit. That's
What?
yin. That's amazing. That's awesome. That is why my body is constantly doing that. Is because
Because
I
you
am
need more
incredibly.
yin?
I need more yin.
Yin skis? All right, you talk
I
about
need yin skis.
yin.
We already went through this. You already
I,
had me do this in the last podcast. Go through yin and yang.
oh my God. I was going to say, we talk about yin a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And you also at some point in the podcast said that yin and yang are like, are they like opposing or they're opposites? And
Yeah,
you
it's
can
like sun and
use,
moon.
okay.
But
So
they
they can,
each have each other in them. It's like
oh yeah.
they each have like a little bit. They can't exist without each other.
Like us.
Exactly like us.
But like you sometimes use them instead of saying masculine and feminine energy.
Yeah.
What does yang do?
Yang is active. Yang is movement. Like it's
So like yang
heat.
is like giving and yin is receiving. Okay.
I mean, in like in a sense, yes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's much more complex, but I'm thinking like
Yes.
since for my own selfish purposes, since like I am so much like doing an output, and I'm exercising my practice now of trying to just be present and like learn how to receive.
Yeah.
I'm
You
thinking,
tend to be very young.
yeah.
And you are working on having more yin practice.
Right. So maybe I should like, it seems like a very young thing to do to meditate and infuse myself with yin. Doesn't it?
But I mean, this is the whole, there's yang within yin and there's yin within yang. You have to have both of them. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm going
You
to
don't
try it
want
and
too
see
much of
what
either.
happens.
All right. I think it's a great idea.
All right. So we have a question. Might be a good time to answer it.
Oh, okay. From a
Also,
reader, you mean? Or a listener?
Yeah, a reader. We have a question from a listener, and I'm gonna find
Long
it.
time listener, first time caller.
All right, let's see if I can find her here. Okay. So, also, if you have any questions, info@gettingpsychic.com. Oh, it actually does say, hi, this is from Danielle. Hi, Danielle. Longtime listener. How long have we been on the air?
Not that long.
11 weeks. This seems crazy because it seems like we've been...
It isn't.
I mean, we've been doing this since March, right?
February.
Okay, so yeah, we've been doing it for 7 months, but we've only been out for 2. Anyway, okay. 1 or 2 episodes ago, you made a real quick off-the-cuff comment about how life is basically the journey and how you get through it and manage relationships without people making you too crazy. I was wondering if you sensitive people have any coping strategies for other sensitive babies who feel like everyone is making them crazy. Like, especially post-COVID and isolation. I feel like everyone just gets on my nerves, and I kind of feel like it has to do with just picking up on too much, you know? Oh, we know. Like, I know my mind is my worst enemy, but I really feel like I can tell when what people intend. Wait, like I know my mind is my worst enemy, but I really feel like I can tell what people intend or what they are thinking just a little too much. And then there's some more constructive criticism about our sound, which we're really working on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry for all of the sensory sensitive people. We're trying to get better. But so, you want to take this to start, Claire, or you want to just chat? Because I feel like this is very much like it's a protection thing, and then there's probably more to it.
Yeah, I think that's a good place to start. I think there is a protection thing of like creating that energetic boundary around you so that so much of that frequency can't get into your area
Yeah.
as easily. But so there's that part, but then there's the part of like the witnessing. Like, well, just step out of it. I mean, just it's not that easy, but um, like we've been talking about with the power
Eckhart.
of now. Yeah. And um, the witnessing, the when things are really annoying us, it's like we're super engaged with it.
Hmm.
So when you separate yourself from that which is annoying, and I'm not talking about being like, I'm leaving the room. I'm talking about energetically kind of like backing yourself out and then just watching what is happening within your own mind, obviously, but also just like what is happening that is irking you. The the feeling of knowing what other people are intending, those people, this is when I think compassion shows up, or it would, like, using compassion here could be useful. Of they may not know what they're intending. So if it's bothering you, if like there's a thing that I call hungry eyes, where like somebody wants something from you but they don't know how to say it, but like their eyes are letting you know that they're trying to grab something energetically from you. um like all I can do is basically like put up a barrier and be like, they need something. Like, let me figure out if it's something I can assist with without giving of, my own
Hmm.
like actual energy. But
Hmm.
it's like having a compassion of like they need something. They may not know what, but it isn't against me. It doesn't feel like an attack. Whereas this sounds like she feels like it's an affront on her, like something is being done to her.
Yeah.
And it isn't. That's the perception of it.
Hmm.
But it's not actually being done to her. She's just picking up on stuff she's uncomfortable with. But I and it sounds like there's the assumption that people are being uh, like conniving or something. Like the whole, like what did she say? She said something like, I know what people are wanting.
Um, I feel like everyone just gets on my nerves, and I kind of feel like it has to do with just picking up on too much. Like, I know my mind is my worst enemy, but I really feel like I can tell what people intend or what they are thinking just a little too much.
Right. Okay. So if it's if it's simply like I can kind of hear people's thoughts and it's freaking me out and I hate it and it's too loud. Well, yeah, like boundary the fuck out of everything. Like
Yeah.
ground clear boundary. Like you can switch it off. Um, that takes practice. If it's a I feel people coming at me thing, then it's, well. back out and watch it.
Right.
It doesn't mean you have to engage it.
Right. I feel
and
like
that's the difference. Yeah.
I feel like what she's experiencing is more like heightened psychic or energetic sensitivity, and she's able to acknowledge it and verbalize it, and now wants to know what to do with it. So I feel like one thing that I learned recently that was like weirdly helpful for me, I mean, aside from all of your suggestions, like I was in Las Vegas for a trade show recently. And
Gosh.
as you can imagine, that was just like an energetic vortex of like just chewed up energy. So I was like continuously grounding and wrapping a bubble around me and just like every time I left the hotel room, just like putting a cloak over me and doing everything I could think of. But then I heard someone say that it really helps them to actually create a portal, like not in your energy, but next to it, because it's like, okay, I know I'm a sponge. I can accept that. Instead of coming and attaching to me, I'm going to give all this energy a place to go.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so it's just like, I just pictured kind of like a hole or a light beam right next to me.
Mm-hmm.
And that honestly instantly made me feel so much better.
That's awesome.
When I finally used it. So it really works.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I do think that, that's one cool little trick. But also if you're just someone that's just starting to experience either being an energy sponge or just feeling people's energy too much or too much for the first time, it might not have anything to do with COVID either. It might really just be that where you are on your energy arc, I'll say, in your life. And I just think, from my experience, it's like accepting it, embracing it as a gift, and watching yourself interact with it is like you said, like really important. Like watching the thinker.
We hope that helps.
If not, get back to us. I'm sure we could think of some more stuff to say.
We'll come up with some other bullshit. Over here on Snake Oil Podcast.
Oh my God. Oh, okay. So this question though does remind me of something. I've been trying to take notes so that I don't have to, rely on what level of caffeine I've consumed for the podcast. Try it. It's fun. But one of the notes that I took when I was flying this week was about, like, as a energetically, porous person, the instant of relief that I feel when I go into an airplane bathroom, like, just like going from the plane where I'm just exposed to all of these people and energies, and then shutting the door to the bathroom and just being alone and in a small space for a minute was like, why are you making that face?
That's so weird to me, but okay. Continue.
Yeah, clearly. Can't hide your feelings.
Nope.
Yeah, I just felt like it was really funny, the sense of relief that came over me when I got out of, the tin can full of strangers. Okay, cool. Cool talk, Claire. Next time.
Flying is so much anxiety for me that the idea of like how it's affecting me psychically, I'm like, I can't possibly care right now.
Really?
Like, those are just humans. No, it's like flying with disability is incredibly difficult.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's terrible.
You probably can't even go to the bathroom.
They have to bring an aisle chair, which basically they strap me down in, like Hannibal Lecter from Silence of the Lambs.
Jesus.
And then have to, maybe next time you're in that cute little tin can of a bathroom, you'll notice that there aren't disability bars.
Yeah, I know, but like, how do you even fit? How do you even get in there?
Eric has to pick me up and put me in it.
Oh, well, like with the door open.
It's terrible. Yeah, it's like humiliating. Yeah. It's the worst.
That's insane.
Yeah. So my concerns on an airplane are, fuck, I sure hope I don't have to go pee because it's going to be annoying.
Well,
not like I can't wait to be in this tiny fucking room so I can be alone.
Okay, well, now I feel horrible and filled with shame.
No, don't. But it's totally one of those things. That's why my face was like, word. Not my experience. I usually, when I sit down to like finally pee, I'm like, humiliation. Also, I learned a thing. Never, ever, ever drink coffee on an airplane, or wash your hands in that sink. Bring your own bottle of water in.
Don't wash your hands?
That water. Bring a bottle of water in to wash your hands.
Okay. I don't drink coffee on planes, but like what?
But don't drink tea either. Because the reservoir that they keep all of the quote unquote fresh water in only legally has to be cleaned one time a year.
What's a reservoir?
The thing that holds all the water.
Yeah, but like, is it an open container or is it like
I mean, any container
in the
that
plane
has water in it and then air in it when it's used up, there will be microbes and things.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, I listened to, I mean, like, it's actually super gnarly. So I now just tell everyone, don't do that.
Yeah.
And you will notice that when pilots go to the bathroom, they often bring bottles of water with them. And that is why.
Ew.
They all know. And you can ask any of the flight attendants, like, would you drink the coffee? They will get squirrely looks on their faces and be like,
gross. I mean, it does taste
it's really
gross.
bad.
Cool, good to know. I'll stick with sparkling wine.
Exactly. They also don't have tequila on planes.
Oh, that's weird.
I know.
I think it's because people don't understand the subtlety and nuance of tequila because it's been given a bad name as like a party shot. How about that?
Yeah, that's probably true.
All right. I have this one note that's just like no death.
That's really funny.
Just because, like,
what does that say? Or what does that mean? No death.
It means like, I don't know, I'm a 21-year-old and I'm stoned. No, but it means like, you know.
Is there really a death? Do we really die? That kind of thing?
Well, yeah, kind of. No, it's not a question. I was like, oh, there is no death. There's only
continuation in a different form.
No, but there's only the death of the body.
Yes.
It's very liberating. I mean, like, I could have understood. I mean, I've understood that probably for as long as
the scariest part is the death of the mind. You know, because then you just don't have thoughts.
What do you mean?
Which is what enlightenment is. That's what enlightenment is.
So do you think that's
death.
scary?
I think that for a lot of people, that's scary.
Well, let me tie this up. I just meant okay. Because our souls are who we are, or we are souls, and right now we have bodies. It's not the other way around. I mean, when we no longer have bodies and we're not like human beings with friggin' tattoos and podcasts or whatever, we still completely exist.
Right, but without minds. We're just energy.
Yeah. So can we, in that sense, have thought? So like you know, we're learning how to access our guides or whatever and ask questions and shit. Like they have to think in order to answer us, or is that not the case in your opinion?
Oh, I don't think so. We're receiving information that is in a form that we can try and comprehend it. But I don't know what it actually is. It's just translated to us as words or thoughts. Mm-hmm. But it might just be energy and light. I have no idea what it actually is.
Was that the most boring podcast ever recorded in the history of history?
No, not at all. No, I don't think so. I think it was okay. But this is how I feel every time we record. I'm like, is that boring? And then I listen to it and I'm like, it's terrible. And then all of a sudden it gets good. And you're like, oh, we just need a minute.
Well, I hope.
Because the one that I'm like, quote unquote, editing right now.
That shouldn't be quote unquote. You're actually editing
it. Yeah, but it feels like I'm quote unquote editing it. Like last night listening to it again, I was like, are we fucking high? Like, what is going on? It's so weird. And then it gets into really good conversation. And then we go back into being high. And you're like falling asleep at the wheel.
Really? That's so weird.
And I'm just babbling. And then you're like, uh-huh. It's so funny. I'm like, oh my God, like watching this is hilarious.
Oh my God. I just want you to delete 99% of the times that I use the word interesting.
Oh, dude, seriously. It's God. So funny. What? When you texted, when you messaged that, and then I was listening, I was like, oh my God, it's so true. You're like, interesting. I'm like, you just need more words. Interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah, let's get this
thesaurus
out.
Like, I'm like, oh, this is when Suki is actually bored. She goes, interesting.
That's not like, true at all.
I'm not listening. Interesting.
I was actually like thoroughly engaged, I think, and it just was coming off really fucking weird.
Interesting.
Stop. On that note, I think this is a good place to stop.
Okay, boss.
Okay. Bye, Claire. Love you.
Bye, Suki. Love you.
Thanks so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed today's weird conversation as much as we did. Be sure to subscribe or follow us wherever you get your podcasts. If you liked today's episode, please consider leaving us a review to help others discover our podcast and join our club.